Obamacare was at the center of the recent fight in Congress over the debt ceiling and government shutdown. Some lawmakers have called for defunding Obamacare, but what would that really mean? To get some answers, I'm here with Full Director of Investment Planning, Dan Kaplinger. Hey, Dan. So,
Hey, Allison.
What would it mean to defund Obamacare?
Well, basically, it's a little bit different from what you would expect from a full repeal of the law, because defunding leaves Obamacare in place as an active law. But what it does is it takes the money away from it in terms of discretionary expenditures under Obamacare. So really that has two big consequences. One is that the program wouldn't be able to make the payments to subsidize health insurance coverage for millions of lower income workers that are anticipating getting subsidies from the federal government. The other thing is that states wouldn't get federal aid for certain programs that they've tried to put in place in order to comply with certain elements of Obamacare. And so really those two impacts, those big impacts, are what you would see from a defunding of Obamacare.
So then what would the potential impact of defunding Obamacare be on businesses?
Well, there could be a really big impact on businesses, because basically defunding Obamacare would leave part of the law intact, but take away some of the money and therefore some of the financial impact. And so what you would see is, for instance, take insurance companies. United Health, Humana, WellPoint, they are all anticipating seeing a lot more people covered under Obamacare, and they're hoping that that's going to offset the hit to profits that Obamacare's restrictions on their being able to deny coverage for people with pre-existing conditions has increased their costs. They're hoping that they'd be able to offset that with higher policy customer counts. However, if there's no subsidies, that could really hurt a lot of people. It could lead to a lot of people not taking advantage of signing up for policies. That could hurt their business and really take away a lot of the profits. Same idea for hospital companies. Companies like Community Health, HCA, they've been counting on Obamacare's subsidies to lead a lot of low-income people to get health insurance coverage and therefore not take advantage of what's essentially free care at emergency rooms that those hospitals have to eat the cost of. If the subsidies go away, that could be bad news for those hospitals counting on those profits. Now, finally, medical device makers, companies like Intuitive Surgical and Medtronic, they've been having to pay taxes that were set in place by Obamacare, medical device surtaxes on their sales of medical devices. And those taxes would continue even if the spending stopped. And so you can see that there's going to be real downsides to business as a result of defunding Obamacare.
Yeah, it sounds like some pretty widespread impacts here on businesses. Thank you, Dan. If you have more questions on Obamacare, we have answers. You can check out our report, Everything You Need to Know About Obamacare, by clicking the link above the video or by sending an email to obamacare@fool.com.